Hello again, my name is David Watts from Lenovo Press, and I have with me today Russ Resnick. Russ is the Worldwide Segment Manager for 1 and 2 socket servers.
David, thanks for having me.
Very good. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about the Lenovo ThinkSystem SR250.
That's right.
This is our new one socket rack server, right?
That's correct. So one socket rack server,
Yep.
it's the
Yep.
replacement for the System X3250 M6.
Right. Now, that was a very good system. What sort of customers are suited for this type of machine?
So this kind of machine is really great for small virtualized environments. It's good for hosters, especially bare metal hosters, since this is really the least common denominator for bare metal hosting. It's also great for remote office for customers who have racks in a closet, let's say. And it's also good for, we'll talk about later, some of the features of the processor. It's really also very good for blockchain.
Right, okay. Now, you might think since it's a single socket system that it's an entry-level system. This has enterprise-level features, especially management features, right?
That's correct. So this has the full xClarity controller management engine, and all the xClarity tools support this, just like the rest of our 2, 4, and 8 socket servers.
And it has some features like hot swap power supplies, hot swap drives
That's right.
that make this really not really an entry system at all.
That's right. It's really a one socket server that has all the management and enterprise features of what's typically found in a 2 and a 4 socket and 8 socket server.
All right, so we're going to go through the system. We're going to look at the front and look at the back and then look at the components inside. All right.
Great.
So at the front of the system, this particular configuration has 8 hot swap 2.5-inch drives.
That's right.
But the server actually supports up to 10 2.5-inch drive bays.
That's right.
Yep.
And 2 of the 10 can actually be NVMe drives.
Right. These two here can be what we call any bay, meaning that the backplane it's a full 10 drive backplane with 10 drive bays, SAS or SATA. But in 2 of them, instead of SAS or SATA, you could have NVMe.
That's right.
Yeah. And why would you want NVMe?
So NVMe drives are obviously a lot more performance than the SAS and SATA drives, since they're connected to the PCI bus instead of through a SAS or
so
SATA
lower
controller.
latency,
higher
IOPS,
right?
Bandwidth and so on. Yep. Right. So those choices. The server also supports other configurations with 3.5-inch drives.
Right. 4 3.5-inch bays that can either be simple swap or hot swap.
Right. So quite a variety of drive configurations on the server. On this side of the system, the usual ports, usual buttons and displays. This hole here, this is a pre-production model, would either be a cover or
a front VGA port.
Right. So along with the USB ports, if you had this server in a data center, you could use those connections with a crash cart to roll up and connect locally to the system.
Right, and just like our other ThinkSystem servers, one of the front USB ports does connect to the xClarity controller using the mobile app.
Right, that's the one with the little wrench symbol there. And so the value of the xClarity mobile, xClarity mobile interface is that you've got your mobile phone with the app installed.
Or a tablet.
Yep, or tablet, and you're connecting via cable to the USB port, right?
That's correct, and therefore you can work with the xClarity controller to manipulate the settings on the server, update it however.
Directly on the phone or tablet, yeah. And it's wired connection, not wireless, for improved security.
Right, and you know that you're
Which exact system?
Yes, you're talking.
So if you've got a whole rack of systems, you know which one you're working on. Yes, right, very good. Yep. Additional components is the power button and LED, and there's the bank of LEDs at the top there. There's also the system ID button. It's a little blue LED, and when you press that, it also lights up the matching blue LED at the back of the system. And that's just to identify the system ID.
Right, and that can be done remotely through the xClarity controller. Right. So if the administrator is remote and there's somebody on the floor in the data center, they can light the light.
And you know, again, which system you're working on.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's an important feature. A little pull-out label here. This will have the MAC address and IP address of the systems processor, the xClarity controller. So you'll be able to connect to that directly. You can also put your own label there if you want as well. Yep. So those are the front components. Let's spin around, have a look at the back. So usual rack configuration. Now, unlike the
3250.
The X3250 M6, this one actually supports 3 PCI slots, right?
That's right. There's 2 external and 1 internal, which we'll show you in a little bit, which are for an internal RAID card. On the 3250, when a customer plugged in the internal RAID card, they lost a PCI slot. So we went ahead and found room in this system to actually add an internal slot. The other thing I should mention about this system, it's about 4 inches shorter than the last one.
Right.
So we had a lot of customers who wanted a shorter depth system for either a smaller rack or because they were space constrained. So therefore this server is a little shorter.
Yeah, okay. Hot swap or fixed power supplies?
Right,
this one has a single hot swap.
Right, it's 450 watt hot swap or 300 watt fixed.
Yes, okay, so there's choices there. On your side, we have a serial port at the top and VGA port at the bottom there.
That's correct. And unlike the 3250, the SR250 now has a dedicated management port for the xClarity controller.
Right, that's the first one here on your side. Yep.
Plus 2 1 gigabit Ethernet ports for the system, and then a pair of USB 3 10 gig ports, I believe.
Yes, these are the 3.1 G2 USB ports. Yep. All right, so those are the components on the back. Let's open up and have a look inside. There must be a trick to it. There it is.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks. I've got a lot of practice. All right, so we'll spin it around to this side. Okay, so Russ, what are the key features here?
So once again, we talked about the internal PCI slot. So a RAID card, an internal RAID card would go here. The super cap, if it needs one, would sit up here and then be cabled out to the front. This configuration uses the onboard SATA ports for the
backplane that goes there. Yes.
We also support an M.2 card here for boot.
Yep. So you would use this, for example, put your operating system on this, and that would then allow you to use the front drives for your data. Right?
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
If you choose to, yeah.
Right.
Now let me remove this. This is the Butterfly riser card. There are two variations. This particular one has got a single PCIe by 16 slot. But the other variation has got 2 by 8 slots.
That's right.
One will be a full height, half length, and the other will be a slimline. By 8s, even though this one will be a by 16 connector, it'll be electrically by 8 connector, and by 8 on this side.
That's
so
right.
Two variations for that.
That's right.
So that's the connector the riser goes into, and this was the one for the dedicated RAID card. That's a by 4 connector for that one.
It's physically by 8, but electrically by 4, which in a system like this really shouldn't matter.
Right. I'm just going to remove this air baffle just to show you what's under there. Now the system uses a single Intel Xeon E2100 processor.
That's right.
Right. This is the processors formerly known as Coffee Lake.
That's right.
Also supported are the Celeron, Pentium, and Core i3 processors that are in the Coffee Lake series.
Yes.
Yep. Now, the server also has support for 4 UDIMMs, DDR4 UDIMMs.
DDR4 UDIMMs with ECC.
With ECC, so there's error check and correcting functionally built into those DIMMs. So if you had 16 gig DIMMs, for example, then 64 gig of memory
would be the max with those DIMMs.
Right. So quite a powerful system for a one-socket system. Yep. Fans, if you've got the 2.5-inch drives, then you have 4 fans. If it's the 3.5-inch 4 drive bay, then you would have 3 fans in this in the configuration. Now you mentioned the power module connector here.
For the RAID card.
Right, so if you have the RAID 930i, which is our high-end, high-performance RAID adapter, that adapter includes an enterprise feature. It's commonly called SuperCap, but it's effectively a power module to get like a battery. And the idea is that with this adapter, even if the server is in the middle of a write operation and the power fails, the transaction is stored in the memory of the adapter and backed up by the power module, so that once power is restored to the server, then those final write operations can then be completed to the disk. So that's just one of the enterprise level features in this system. And it's sort of something you see on all our ThinkSystem servers.
And as with all the ThinkSystem products, we have common options. So the drive options are common with the 2 and 4 and 8 socket servers, as are the RAID cards and the network cards.
Yeah.
So David, one thing I want to add about this system is it does support NVMe drives.
Yeah.
And the processor also supports SGX, which is the software guard extensions. So given the ability to add the high performance NVMe drives and the fact that the processor has software guard extensions, makes this box a really nice little blockchain engine. So for customers who want to deploy, say, a series of blockchain engines, this would be a great little box for that.
All right, so I think that's about it, Russ. We didn't mention the TPM. The server has built-in
TPM
trusted platform module for enhanced security. For our China customers, there is a plug-in TPM module available as well as an option.
That's right.
Yep. Now, security-wise,
we have a. This product doesn't have it on it, but we do have a one-use security bezel.
Right. It goes physically on the front of it to protect physical access to the front drives.
To the front drives.
And that's lockable with the key. So that's available as an option as well.
That's right.
Yep. All right, so there you have it. This is the SR250, our new single socket server. Thanks so much, Russ.
Thank you for having me.
Yep.
And just to note, we're here in the briefing center, the executive briefing center here in Morrisville, North Carolina. And we have others in Beijing and Stuttgart. But if you're interested in talking to the developers or the supply chain people or any of the people that work here, you should contact your Lenovo seller or your business partner, and you can arrange a visit, get
learn
tours.
about our full product line.
Right, learn about the full product line, understand our roadmaps, and just get to know the people here at Lenovo a lot better.
Yep. And if you're looking for more information about this server, we do have a product guide. You'll look for the link to the product guide in the description for this video. Right. Thanks again, Russ.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you found the video useful, and we'll see you later.
Thanks.
Bye.